Hello, hello! My name is Callista, and welcome back to Contradiction, Spot the Liar. In the last episode, we were heading over to Abbey Farm to see James. We have to ask him if he knows anything about Liam and the rock-on symbol that we found in the woods. I adore Jenks. I adore that Jenks is just going around this village and making the rock-on sign. I find that hilarious. Also, we do have to check. Apparently there are some more greenhouses.
Simon mentioned another greenhouse on the farm. Must be up the hill over there.
Yeah, let's head on up. Okay.
I wonder if James knows this is here. Don't know what it is, but it'd be interesting to see what he says about it.
Unfortunately, I'm not that big of a herb person. The only thing I can say for certain is that that is not weed. I know what weed looks like, and it don't look like that. Okay, James, we found a mysterious baggie in your greenhouse.
Ask about a few more things, please.
Namely drugs. Packet of dried leaves. A packet of suspicious-looking leaves was found in the greenhouse at the farm. Okay, that's nice, but first things first. Yeah, Liam.
Did you know Liam?
Liam who?
Liam who died.
You mean Liam who killed himself?
Yeah.
He was in my year, on a different course.
What course was Liam on?
Can't remember, not mine.
What was yours?
Plant science. First time I knew about Liam was when he killed himself.
Right, so you didn't meet him?
No.
Okay.
If I did that, would it mean anything to you?
Yeah, it's a Satanism symbol. Satanists use it.
Have you ever seen anyone using it?
Lots of people. Politicians, presidents, CEOs.
Have you ever seen anyone local using it?
Not that I remember.
Why has no one brought up Rock On? Why has no one brought up that?
Ever hear the phrase, free to be free? Heard anyone use that?
Nah. What is it, a song?
No, I don't think so. Doesn't matter.
He knows about songs. He knows that songs exist, so why don't you know that rock music exists? James?
Could you tell me what these are, please? I found them in the greenhouse.
Been snooping around on the farm, have we?
It's called investigating, James.
Yeah. It's just mint. Mint leaves. For cooking.
Yeah, I heard you were a bit of a budding chef.
Dabble a bit. Won a few competitions.
Very impressive. So you normally just leave packets of mint lying around?
Must have dropped it.
Who puts mint leaves in a see-through plastic bag? No.
That's it for the time being, thank you.
That's drugs. I know drugs when I see them. Don't ask how. Well, we can go and we can ask everyone about the dried leaves, but we also have to bring up this freedom phrase to Ryan. Because if I remember correctly, he was saying like, oh yeah, this isn't used on the course, but apparently it is, so... That is rather suspicious. We checked that. Yeah, I checked everything after it turned 7, so yeah, that's fine. Okay, Miss Landlady. I'm gonna show you a packet of something mysterious. Don't question it.
Couple more questions, if that's okay. Do you know what these are?
Oh, magic mint. Where did you find this?
Magic mint.
Salvia divinorum. I used to grow it years ago. It makes you trip.
In what way?
It's a hallucinogenic and legal. Quite a dangerous combination, really.
Do you use it?
Me? No. No, I don't even take medicines. I like to stay pure.
I didn't expect Rebecca to know about growing drugs. I know she claims not to use them herself, but I'm not so sure.
Oh, James. James, why? If it's legal, why lie? I know he's the police, but if it's legal. Also, that was a bit of an odd line. I don't take any drugs or medicines because I like to stay pure. Because my first thought was, for who? Who wants you to stay pure? Is that something you want for yourself? Here's the thing, I'm gonna be honest, I don't often take any drugs or medications. I've never taken any drugs, but with medicine, like, I get pretty frequent migraines, and more often than not, I don't even take any painkillers. Just because I don't like to take any unnecessary medications. Because I worry about becoming immune. And yes, I know that's stupid with painkillers, but just in case that happens. So if she had said something like that, I'd understand it, but like, I want to stay pure. Why? That's such an odd statement.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
You know what? I think I'm gonna run around showing stuff to everyone else, and then we're gonna go back and confront James.
A few more questions, please.
What do you know about drugs?
You know what these are, by any chance?
No. Sorry. I don't know anything about plants or things like that, but you should ask Rebecca. She used to live on a farm. She'd know.
Okay, so that explains why Rebecca knew about that.
Ever heard of Salvia divinorum?
Yeah, I've heard of it. It's a drug, isn't it?
Yeah. Hallucinogenic drug. Ever tried it?
No, I've never taken any illegal substances.
My dear, you might have never taken any illegal substances, but this is a legal substance. Ooh, I feel like that's a half lie there.
That's all for the moment. Thank you.
And you, sir?
Know what these are?
No. Look a bit like sage leaves.
Haven't seen them before, though.
Not at all, no.
Ever heard of Salvia divinorum?
Salvia divinorum?
Magic mint. Same thing.
Oh, yeah, you mean the drug? Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, ever tried it?
Well, once or twice, yeah. But it's not really my sort of thing. It messes with your brain. I've never tried any other drugs either. Well, nothing like that. Nothing hallucinogenic.
Yeah, hallucinogenics really freak me out. as I said before, I've never done any type of drugs. I've never even done weed. Hell, I've never even smoked a cigarette, to be honest. And I've also never been drunk. I do drink, but I have never been drunk. The furthest I have ever gotten was tipsy, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't like that. To be fair, I say I was tipsy. I was also having an allergic reaction at the time, not to the alcohol. Basically, long story short, I was on a double date with my boyfriend at the time, now my ex-boyfriend, for reasons which you shall understand, and my friend and her fiance. And the fiance, we ordered tapas, which is, like small plates of food that everyone, puts in the middle of the table and everyone's picking from each other's plates. This was way before COVID. Way before COVID. And basically, I have a relatively mild nut. My brain went addiction, no, allergy brain. I have a relatively mild nut allergy. It's nothing dangerous, like I don't need an EpiPen for it, I just struggle to breathe. Which, that makes it sound so much worse than it is, but like, trust me, if I'm being honest, I think it's worse for other people than it is for me, because they have to listen to me gasping for air. Like, I've been to the doctor, they say I don't need an EpiPen, so like, I'ma trust them on this. And my friend's fiance wanted to order something that came with this nut dip. It was like a Thai dish, something like that. And so I basically said, hey, can you order something else, please? Or can we ask, like, the waiter to swap the nut dip for a different dip? No, I want this and I want the nut dip. Okay, well, would everyone be okay with me having my 2 dips over here and I'm the only one who uses them? Oh, well, no, because it's tapas and you've got to share. At which point my friend joined in, backing up her fiance, saying, yeah, Callista, why don't you want to share? I'm like, because I have an allergy and I want to have a good time. My boyfriend at the time sides with the group because he had no backbone. He's like, Callista, share. So I'm like, okay, but you'll have to promise not to double dip, because if you dip into the nut dip and then double dip into my dip, I'm gonna have a bad time. Oh yeah, we promise. One of my dips was sour cream, and about halfway through the meal, I noticed this brown smear, and the only brown dip was the nut dip, so I'm pretty sure that someone had potentially on purpose double dipped to be like, oh, you caused a fuss. You kicked up a fuss, so have an allergic reaction. So I had drunk a pitcher of alcohol. It was a cocktail, very delicious. I had been eating, of course, but then I was having the allergic reaction, so I couldn't breathe. So I was very lightheaded. It felt like I was wearing shoes made of concrete. Absolutely hated it. Like, never again. I swear down. I wasn't hungover the next day. Like, I was okay afterwards once I could breathe again. But I really don't like the idea of not being in control of myself, and the idea of seeing shit. No, I don't want to deal with that.
Be back later on, if that's okay.
Okay, and let's back over to Atlas. Now then, you still here?
Ask you a couple more things, please.
Okay, you're here.
Can you tell me a bit about the phrase free to be free?
Free to be free, my favourite motto. Well, we teach our students that people, they suffer from excessive guilt, don't they? Excessive self-criticism, excessive doubt. Evils of excess, we call them. And we tell our students that if they rid themselves of these evils, then they're free to realise their full potential.
Who came up with all this?
I have a background in psychology.
Honestly?
Yeah, don't look so surprised, Inspector. There's an intellect lurking in here.
When did you come up with the phrase?
When we were based at the village hall. When I say we, I came up with the phrase. Dad's more the money man.
And very successful at it too, I hear.
Oh, he's successful, but he's not a creative man. Dad suffers from a lack of imagination.
That's it. I've been thinking this guy's been reminding me of someone. He reminds me of Rick Mail. That's it. I also think he looks like a lizard too. Yeah, can we... I don't think this is right, but I'm gonna try it. Yeah, I mean, I'm very glad that the game doesn't punish us for being wrong. I think that would just be really tricky. Okay. Maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree with that.
Do you know what this is?
Looks like chopped tea bags to me. What is it?
I just thought you might know.
I don't know anything about plants, Inspector. What you should do is ask Rebecca. She knows far more about these things than I do. Messy things, growing things.
Didn't Simon say that there was, like, his group wasn't meeting up today for their, like, session, but a different one was? Why are you drinking before like a group meeting session, whatever? It's no wonder no one batted an eyelid when, you know, Kate came in drunk off a rocker, because the guy who's running the show is drinking. Damn.
Have you ever heard of Salvia divinorum?
No. What is it?
It's a hallucinogenic plant. A legal one. At least for the moment.
I've no interest in drugs, Inspector. My job. That's the only drug I need. As trite as that may sound.
Do you know any students who may have used hallucinogens?
No. My students aren't interested in that kind of thing. Besides, no one is allowed drugs or alcohol onto the site. I don't think anyone has ever brought drugs to Atlas.
Do you have any medicines on site at all?
No, we're not allowed. Insurance purposes.
Sir, the fuck are you drinking? Sir, you're clearly drinking an alcoholic drink, which means that alcohol is allowed onto Atlas premises. I wish I could bap this and then bap the picture of the guy and just be like, look at them. You're holding a glass of alcohol. What do you mean? Also, did he say that people weren't allowed to bring their medications to the site? What if someone has an allergic reaction and they have a deadly allergic reaction if they need an EpiPen? Or what if there are diabetics? I get not keeping medicines at the site for insurance purposes, but saying that, like, medicines are banned?
Okay, that's it for now. Thank you.
I feel like there is... Considering this is the first time this guy has shown up, I feel like there will be a contradiction with him. I'm just not entirely sure what. I could see maybe the thing like, oh, he has a degree in psychology, but he never noticed that there was anything wrong with Kate or Liam. Or potentially the whole thing about, what is it? You know, I could see the drugs and alcohol thing being a contradiction with something, because Kate kept turning up drunk. Admittedly, if she wasn't drinking at Atlas, if she was getting, you know, like, pre-wasted at the pub, she was getting drunk over here and then making her way up, then, I mean, technically speaking, that's true. No one ever brought drugs or alcohol onto Atlas property, but I just... It sets off alarm bells in my head, I guess. Bring it in.
A few more questions, if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah. Tell me about Salvia divinorum, which I gotta say, that is a good Latin name. This plant got lucky.
Ever heard of Salvia divinorum, James?
What's that, skin cream?
It's not a skin cream, no. It's a plant.
Really? Don't know much about plants.
So you've never heard of Salvia?
No.
Buddy, you don't know much about plants, yet your degree's in plant science.
Aha. So, your degree is in plant science, but you don't seem to know anything about plants.
Well, still got a lot to learn.
So you're still saying you've never heard of Salvia?
Didn't say that.
So you have.
Maybe.
And you do grow it.
Yeah, it's legal, why not?
What do you do with it?
I use it for explorative purposes, meditation.
And does this involve anybody else?
Why?
Do you sell it or give it to anybody else?
Nah.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just for me, nobody else.
And that's the only drug you grow, is it?
Feel free to go and look if you want.
It's okay, I'll look later. The only drug he grows? I'm not sure I believe that, James. Then again, would someone growing illegal drugs bother growing a legal one?
Fair. He was lying. I know he was lying. When... Oh god. Jenks, there we go. When Jenks was saying, do you sell it or do you give it to anyone else? James's eyes got really shifty. Emma gulps and she avoids eye contact. With James, his eyes go all over the shop. I want to look through this again because here's the thing, I can't... We've asked everyone about all of this, so if there is a contradiction, I must already have it. You know what, I'm just very quickly gonna look up on Google if salvia can be made into a tea. Oh god, how am I gonna word that? I don't want the bloody FBI knocking at my door. I don't want the police coming around to do a drug bust. How? Okay. No, not salmonella. Salvia... divinorum. No, that's not how you spell divinorum. Excuse me. Thank you. Be drunk. Let's see that. Okay. Yeah, it can be drunk. Salvia leaves can be turned into a... Well, it kind of gets cut off there. I'm not clicking on the link. I don't want the government thinking I grow drugs. Yeah, I would assume that says salvia leaves can be made into either a drink or a tea, so... Let's see.
Aha. When you say herbal tea, do you mean salvia?
Probably.
So you traded salvia tea with Simon for his homebrew?
So?
So why did you say you didn't give salvia to anybody else?
Did you give it to anybody else? How many people did you give it to? Did you give it to Kate?
No.
How about Liam?
I didn't have anything to do with him dying, if that's what you mean.
So you did give him salvia?
Yes, I gave him salvia because he asked for it, but that's not what killed him.
Well, he committed suicide, James, because of psychological issues that probably weren't helped by him trying hallucinogenic drugs.
Didn't commit suicide. You don't know anything about him. You don't know what happened.
Okay, so what happened then?
Do you even know about Third Eye?
Go on.
You don't know about Third Eye. If you don't know about Third Eye, you know nothing about Liam's death. I mean, forget salvia.
Fine, tell me then.
Third Eye was a cult. We had our very own psycho cult operating right here from our village hall. And I got rid of them, single-handed. I'm the one who got rid of Third Eye. Did they tell you that at the station?
Okay, start again. They were what?
You don't know anything, do you? Look. They were reeling in students, pretending to be some sort of happy life course, you know. We can make your life better sort of crap. Then they were putting everyone through this brainwashing program to make them compliant, and selling them on. It's all there.
What do you mean, selling them on?
Selling them. Like objects, commodities.
To who?
To anyone who could afford them. Top politicians, famous celebrities, wealthy businessmen, you name it.
What for?
You don't get it, do you? Third Eye were making and selling slaves. They were black market slave traders. They were wiping people's personalities using ECT, brainwashing, cocktails of hard drugs, deliberately turning them into perfect slaves. You know how much slaves are worth on the black market these days?
No.
Millions. And I'm talking per slave. That's why anyone who stood up to them and threatened to go public like Liam was just killed off. They didn't give a damn.
So you're saying Liam was murdered by Third Eye?
Exactly what I'm saying. That's why I started looking into it. They were all saying it was suicide, but there's no way.
So, did you ever actually meet Liam?
I found out about him.
And how did you find out about all this other stuff?
It's obvious, you can tell. I met some of the students. You could see straight away there was something wrong. They were like zombies. You know, I can tell when someone's got ECT damage or when they've been through mind conditioning. It's just obvious. I mean, US military used all these techniques back in the 50s. It's all documented, you can read about it. They showed all the same signs.
So, did you ever actually go to a meeting?
No, but I knew what went on.
How?
From what people said who'd been through it.
Okay, so do you know anyone I could speak to who did go through it?
Well, no. Look, it doesn't matter. Why did they close down if it wasn't true? They just closed down and disappeared overnight after I put all the flyers up. Bit of a coincidence.
But that was just after Liam died.
Yeah,
And do you think that had anything to do with it?
maybe, but it was the flyers that forced them to close.
Okay. Do you mind if I keep this?
Yeah, you investigate it. It'll all come out. Third Eye definitely killed Liam.
Well, that was a lot to take in. Does James really believe all this stuff? This is the first I've heard about Third Eye. Question is, what's their connection with Atlas, if there is one?
I have a few points. 1. The music there slapped. Oh my days. Flipping it. You know, when he started talking about, like, they're making slaves and the music got all creepy. Holy shit, that was cool. That was some good music there. 2, I'm going to admit, this does feel like a paranoid drug fantasy. It feels a little bit... It feels a little... like I said, paranoid. Okay, you know what? Let's read this. The truth about Third Eye. Do not join this dangerous cult. Third Eye are grooming and controlling students' minds to make money from wealthy and corrupt businessmen. They pretend to be able to improve your life, but in fact, they will rob your identity and use barbaric methods like ECT to wipe your memories and destroy your personality. They are based at Edenton Village Hall. Do not join. Those who attempt to expose them will be killed, like Liam Rogers. Third Eye, open your mind. James made and distributed a propaganda flyer to expose a cult in the village called Third Eye. Okay, the thing about slaves, it sounded like a paranoid fantasy. I know I keep saying that, but that's what it sounded like to me. And the fact that he kept saying, like, oh, it was me that got them to close down. Wasn't that just right after Liam's suicide? Yeah, but it was the flyers. It was the flyers that got them to close down. I will say, here's the thing. This is something that James has made. So I don't know about these. However, Third Eye, open your mind. This looks like it could be actual Third Eye symbolage, shall we go with? And they're using the triple moons doodad. Where is it? What was I saying before about MLMs and shady companies? You know, getting in a bit of trouble, having a bit of heat put on them. They shut down for a little while, and then they come back with a new name. But they're still using the same methods. What is the likelihood that this teeny tiny village would have a cult? I'm putting that in air quotes there. They would have a cult. That cult would close. And then a bit later, a second different cult would spring up in roughly the same location. That's not very likely. However, if it were the same cult under a rebranding, again, cult in inverted commas, I don't know how I feel about this. I'm not against cult storylines or like, oh, this seems like a regular crime, but like, oh, actually there's magic. Like, I'm not against those types of stories. I know that my fiance really whoops, I apologize. My fiance really hates it when it turns out like it was a cult the entire time. He absolutely hates those types of stories. I don't mind that. However, I worry that this is smoke and mirrors. They're putting this like, ooh, look, it's a cult. It's a cult, and there's devil worship, and there's scrying, and there's ghosts, and speaking to the dead. Ooh, that's right. Look at that. It's like effectively, it's like, don't look behind the curtain. Don't look at the man behind the curtain. I wonder if this is a magician's trick. You know, misdirection. My mind is open. Like I said, I'd be really happy if it turned out like, yeah, it's a cult, and they're making slaves. James was right, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'd be perfectly satisfied with that. But I wonder if the game would, I guess, be that obvious. I am out of time for this episode.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Most definitely. Most definitely. I think as I move forward with this, I'm going to keep in mind a rule that Agatha Christie put in place. Agatha Christie, she is my favourite crime author. She's my favourite crime novelist. I absolutely adored her work. And she had a rule. Basically, she said in her novels, murders generally came down to one of two motives: love or money. That was generally what every murder could be condensed down to. Now, I disagree that there are just two. I think there are much more options than just love or money. I would also add revenge, jealousy, accident. Like, there are other motives available. I think I'm gonna try and keep that in the back of my mind. I'm gonna try not to be taken in with the flashy, ooh, it's a cult. I think I'm gonna try and keep my eye out for, like, is there a curtain fluttering? Can I see the magician's footsteps behind that curtain? I'd be very happy if it was a cult, but again, I don't want to dive into that and miss other clues. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Alrighty then, I am out of time for this episode. In the next one, we go and, I guess we're just going to grill people about Third Eye. But, until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Kallista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.